closing costs. The appraisal, that's the person who's going to come down and do an appraisal to figure out, to tell you what the value is. An appraisal is not a scientific answer, but it's an opinion of value. That's what an appraisal is. Then you could have, is there any environmental reports that have to be done? Is there any environmental issues on the building? Because if there are, you don't want to buy a building that has environmental issues. So the person buying a building is want to make sure that they're covered. Is engineering. Maybe the structure of the building has an issue. And then you could have the borrower's legal. You have legal fees to close the transaction. Then you could have a bank's legal. Then you could have other fees on the transaction. You could have the mortgage broker's fees. You could have the sales broker if the buyer is paying for it. Title refers to title insurance. Title insurance is regulated on the price. Every single state has a regulation of how title works. Every bank is going to require title insurance. Title insurance is actually the only insurance that goes on the past, not on the future. When you have life insurance, car insurance, fire insurance, theft insurance, it's what if something happens in the future? Title insurance is saying is that this title, you're buying the building today, and you're being told that at the closing, no one has any claims to it. What happens if someone knocks on your door the next morning and says, hey, I really own this building, or I'm owed $100,000 on this building? Title insurance company does searches, and then they insure the results that if someone makes a claim later, then they can't make a claim to this property, and they're going to cover it if there's a problem. You could have all different expenses that are going to go onto a transaction that potentially could go in. What ends up really happening in most cases, most people have this rule of thumb. And the rule of thumb is, I buy a building, let's use 3%.